I got the picture back, guy told me. It was Friday morning, the day after the merchants' meeting, and he'd just dinged his way through ye old bookstore's front door. He unzipped his fancy pack and pulled out a thick envelope. One of his juggling bags fell to the floor, and he picked it up and put it back. Cool, I said. Let's go up to my office. Wait, that poster on the front door there. I didn't know the governor was coming to the fair. Yeah, Dina Whitworth brought those around this morning. Every summer, Country Hamlet holds a fair. It's mainly to attract more shoppers, of course. Mrs. Wentworth signs up to be on Carnival's company's route, and they bring in their Ferris wheels and other rides and set them up on the softball field next to the hamlet. They have carousels and pony rides and that kind of thing. Hmm, that's in 2 weeks, Guy said thoughtfully. Right. Come on upstairs and show me the pictures. But hey, he said, following me up to my office, I hope this vandalism stuff stops by then. It would be awful if something like that happened when the governor is here, or even just before. You bet. Up at my desk, I turned on the old gooseneck lamp and twisted it down close so a strong light was focused on the desk, especially with all the reporters around. Yucko. He began feeding me pictures, and I lined them up in a row beneath the light. As I saw the harsh black symbols, my stomach felt sick. Crazy idiots, I muttered. Why don't those stupid gangs mind their own business? We still can't be sure it's gang related. That reporter last night said she got a tip that it was Turton Street for sure. We're going to go down and check it out today, remember? I nodded. I guess we'd better make sure. Just a minute. I ran downstairs and got the OED magnifying glass and brought it up. Let me get a good look at these pictures. The only way we can be sure, Guy said, is to go downtown and look at the real thing. I still think there's something funny about these symbols. I peered carefully at them through the lens. What? I can't put my finger on it. I just have a feeling I can't explain. When's the bus come by? We've got a schedule downstairs, I said. I think it's fairly soon. Want to go now? Picked up my sketchbook and pencil. Might as well. 20 minutes later, a fairly empty metro bus rolled up in front of Mother Brown's, and we took a seat at the back, in the corner. On the way to town, Guy talked about her pastor's sermon the past week. That sunglasses thing, he began, was cool. What do you mean? I mean, how you look at God. Some people look at him through red glasses and they're mad at him. I was silent. That's me, pretty much. I keep on being silent. I don't know much about God, and I've been pretty mad at him. Yeah? Yeah. Took a slow breath. Because of your dad? Because of my dad. I waited. The guy who was still sitting next to the window turned his face toward the glass. My dad was the safest logger anyone ever knew. He paused. I stared straight ahead, picturing giant trees, hearing the snarl of chainsaws. But the tree did a freak fall, he continued, then paused again before calling the tree 3 or 4 unprintable names. Its trunk slipped, and Dad was heading away on the side he thought he should be on, and he stopped talking. Yeah, I said softly. And God, he finally continued, And God just stood there watching. I know. Tears touched my eyelids. He turned a fierce face toward me. Why? Why? If you can tell me that, maybe I won't have such a. He took a breath and called God an unprintable name. It's a long story, I said. You know why? Sort of. Then why haven't you ever told me? You never asked, I said. And maybe you wouldn't have been ready for it. Well, tell me. It's a long story. You already said that. So in the back seat of a wheezing metro bus heading toward the downtown skyline, I started to tell Guy about a god who'd created a beautiful angel named Lucifer, who deliberately turned against him and persuaded others to distrust him. We had to do one transfer in order to get on a bus that took us close to where we'd gone to give out sandwiches earlier in the week. But finally, Guy reached up and pulled the bell cord, and the bus hissed to a stop. You sure this is where we gave out sandwiches? I asked him as we got out. It looks so different in the daylight. I remember that used car lot across the street, so that means we were standing right here. And I remember that Willie pointed around the corner over there. Right. Let's go. Two or three boys about our age were taking turns on a bright yellow skateboard that had seen better days. They paused in their play and watched us. As we walked away from them, we could hear the skateboard coming closer. They're following us, Guy said nervously. Sounds like it. What are they going to do when you start sketching that gang symbol? Beats me. You better keep your sketchbook shut. I've got to get a sketch of the real thing, Guy. Something tells me I'll learn the truth. He glanced behind him. I don't like this. Let's get out of here. Guy, what? Get out your juggling balls. Do some routines. You mean now? As we walk? Sure. He fumbled in his fanny pack and got out the three block-shaped bags and began to loop them lazily into the air. Now, about 20 feet from the corner, you stop. Keep on juggling. I'll keep moving and see if I can find the symbol and get a good sketch. Sure, pal. Leave me to deal with them by myself. I won't be long. He continued to juggle. Okay, I said. Stop right here. Do some of your behind the back and under the leg stuff. That'll charm 'em. Once I rounded the corner of the huge brick warehouse, I scanned its surface. Down at the far end, a half block away, I saw some black scrawls. I walked toward them swiftly, opening my sketchbook. Sure enough, the treble clef symbol. Never did I sketch faster in my life, and never more accurately. All the skills I'd learned, I'd put it into practice. Proportioning, roughing in, shading, I constantly compared my sketch to the original. Finally, I felt I'd done enough. Closing my book, I hurried back around the corner. Laughter greeted me. A cool, solemn guy was doing a routine I'd never seen before. As each bag descended, he knocked it into his hand with his knee and tossed it up again. He flicked a relieved glance toward me and captured the arching balls. Ready to go? He asked nonchalantly. Ready to go, I said. Hey, dude, one of the kids said to Guy. That was cool. Teach me. Gotta go, Guy said. I mean, come down here again and teach me. Guy gazed at him for a moment. Okay, he agreed. You around here most of the time? Most of the time. I'll look you up. Guy and I were sitting in our telephone booth at Mother Brown's, eating our second and last meal sponsored by poor Polly's Pantry, which Sheila had served us. That knee trick. When did you learn that? I didn't, he confessed. I made it up right there. You were taking a long time, man, and I was running out of routines. Well, don't forget it. It'll be perfect for the gazebo when we get back to doing that. We munched in silence for a while. Suddenly we heard a voice very near, just beyond a wooden grill in the lower part of one of the phone booth's windows. It was Mrs. Wentworth's voice. Bob, what do you know about Tony Stanford? There was a pause. Why do you ask? He asked slowly. He's applied for the position of night security guard here at the Hamlet. There was a pause. You're kidding, Dina. No, I'm not. What's wrong? Wow, Mr. Craiglander breathed. I wonder what to do here. I really wonder what to do. I'm sorry for the boy, and yet it seems to me that you have some sort of problem with Tony, she said flatly. Well, Guy and I had to strain to hear him. Let me tell you something in absolute confidence. There's a very good reason Tony shouldn't be security guard here. What's that? He's been in trouble with the law. Remember that I told you I'd seen two kids throwing rocks onto cars one night about a year ago? I remember. Well, said Mr. Craiglander, he was one of those kids.